This is Mrs. O'Neill for AP Chemistry, Chapter 6, Section 9, Electron Configurations in the Periodic Table. You'll be able to figure out the electron configuration of each element by using the location of that element on the periodic table. So we call these S, P, D, and F blocks. So your S blocks is groups 1 and 2. Your P blocks is group 13 through 18. Your D block is 3 through 12 groups. And of course your F blocks here are on the bottom. So using the periodic table and the location of where that element is, you can really quickly figure out what the electron configuration is. If nothing else, the end part of the electron configuration. And that's really the most important part anyways. So notice the D and F blocks. What happens to them? Well, your D blocks is going to be the period number -1 to give us that energy level. So whatever element this is, okay, whatever element this is, really is the 3D2. Okay, so even though it's in the fourth period, this last part of the configuration would really be 3D2. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. And in your F block, the period number, you're going to subtract 2 to get to where that F starts. So if this is, again, I'm going to choose this one to the right of that 4F, whatever element this may be, the last part of the configuration would be 4F2. So it's in period 6, but the last part would be 4F2. Okay, so that hopefully gets you to understand that. So again, there's difference between your core versus your valence electrons. Your core electrons, I always like to say it's like the inside of your apple, right? Inside of your apple is like a core. That's what it's called, right? Inside. So those electrons are on the inside versus your valence electrons are the guys on the outside. So if we take Se, for instance, as an example, the core electrons would be argon. It's always the noble gas that happens prior to the element. It's always the noble gas, so anything in group 18, but before the element. And then these right here, the 4s2, the 3d10, and the 4p4 would be your valence electrons. Okay, so your core electrons are always going to be the ones on the inside, and of course then your valence electrons are going to be the ones on the outside, the outermost energy level. So your periods 6 and 7, again, these are a little, harder or trying to understand. You want to remember that those F's kind of go in here, right? Those F blocks are in between the 6 and 7, in between groups 2 and 3. So you want to keep that in mind. So again, your core electrons here would be xenon for bismuth here, your core electrons with xenon, and your bismuth would have, all of these valence electrons. Kind of weird, but that's what would happen. As far as your outermost electrons, you would still figure out that it would be the energy level 6, but you want to still remember here your 5d10 and your 4f14 play part in that. Okay, so be ready to complete a worksheet in class after you've watched this video. Okay.